Growing up as a cultured teenager, there were only a couple things I truly wanted in life. Books about dinosaurs, a working duelist, and a girlfriend that I could watch anime with. Now that last thing may seem like fantasy, even more so than a functioning duelist, but a few years later, my dream actually came true.
Suck it, losers!
To be fair, she was only into Pokemon at the time, but I saw this as the perfect opportunity to introduce her to some of my favorite shows and fully indoctrinate her into the world of anime. Eventually my master plan worked, and she began coming to me with her own suggestions for anime we could watch together, one of which was a little something called the Apothecary Diaries, and let me just say, she loves this show. For reference, we haven't seen every obscure anime out there, but we've seen quite a few, especially the big ones, and she ranked the Apothecary Diaries higher than shows like Naruto, Bleach, Death Note, Hunter x Hunter, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, and even Attack on Titan. The production quality is high, the setting is unique, and Maomao is a genuinely interesting and funny protagonist. But despite this, I just found the show to be incredibly boring at times. So today, I'm gonna review both my girlfriend and I's perspective on the Apothecary Diaries, and hopefully you'll be able to decide if it's the right fit for you. But first, a word from our sponsor, Rage. Hey wait, you don't have any sponsors? He's right. You have like 2 subscribers. Oh right, guess I'm getting a bit ahead of myself. Well, I guess I'll just use this segment to shout out our very first comment on this channel. Thank you, Spheel. It means a lot. Now on with the video. We all know the typical anime pipeline, right? Think of it like a conveyor belt that starts on a web forum and ends with a 12-episode adaptation of I Reincarnated as a f***ing toaster. But every once in a blue moon, the industry stops huffing its own supply and actually drops something decent. The Apothecary Diaries is that rare specimen that didn't just get an anime because of a quota. It got one because the fans were absolutely feral for it. Produced by Toho Animation and OLM, it's the perfect toxic cocktail of mystery solving, high-stakes palace politics, and a slow burn romance that will make you want to ascend to a higher plane of existence just to escape the tension. The setting is a fictional imperial court that's basically historical China, the director's cut. Imagine a world where the social hierarchy is so rigid that having a mundane opinion about bread could get you cancelled permanently. We follow Maomao, a girl who essentially gets isekai'd into working at the palace. She just wants to vibe and experiment with toxins, but she keeps getting pulled into solving strange medical cases and suspicious incidents affecting the royal family and court officials. One minute she's explaining why your face cream is literally killing you, and the next she's unraveling a political conspiracy that goes all the way to the top. Then we have Jinshi, the high-ranking official who runs the inner court with a face so perfect it's practically a weapon of mass seduction. He's used to the entire world falling at his feet, but in Maomao he finds the one person who looks at him with genuine, unfiltered indifference. It's a subtle dance of fascination and mutual respect that slowly starts to feel like something much more complicated than either of them is willing to admit. Every episodic mystery is just a breadcrumb leading to a massive web of palace drama and the slow reveal of Maomao's own backstory. It's smart, it's gorgeous, and it features a protagonist who is quite literally built different. So we've got historical drama, high IQ medical plays, and a protagonist who would unironically eat a Tide Pod just to see what happens. But that leaves a $1 million question. Why is my girlfriend so obsessed with this show? Now it probably helps that she's a pharmacist by trade, so watching Maomao is basically professional development for her. But beyond that relatable workplace content, here's what she had to say. Honestly, it's all about Maomao. Most anime girls get shoved into one of 2 boxes, either aggressively sweet cinnamon roll or full-time gaslight gatekeep girl boss? Whatever the f that means. But Maomao, she's just a high-functioning medical gremlin who would genuinely rather lick poison than make small talk with a man. Iconic behavior, honestly. She's so gloriously cynical too. Everyone else is panicking about curses and palace drama and mysterious illnesses, and she's just standing there like, relax, it's mold and bad hygiene. And also, you're all stupid. The palace is gorgeous, the vibes are supernatural, and she's solving everything with basic chemistry and zero patience. There's this scene where she has to taste test a concubine soup for poison, and instead of being scared, she gets this weird little excited blush because she's thrilled to figure out what toxin it is. Like, girl, please. That is not a normal reaction. I love her. And her dynamic with Jinshi is so damn refreshing. He's this absurdly beautiful man that every woman in the palace is losing their mind over, and Maomao looks at him like he's a piece of wet cardboard. Best part is, the show actually respects her brain. Jinshi isn't into her because she's fragile or mysterious or whatever trope of the week. He's into her because she's the only person around who can casually figure out why a cosmetic is killing people or decode secret messages hidden in smoke. She's not the heart of the story, she's the lab equipment, and everyone else is the experiment. P.S. You should show your audience the frog scene.
I am absolutely not going
Moving swiftly along, I wanted to talk about our favorite episode from the show, episode 19. Warning, major spoilers ahead. This is the episode where the writers stop cooking and start committing culinary war crimes on your emotional stability. Up until now, the series has been this really clever, slow burn palace gossip medical mystery, but episode 19 is where all those little threads you didn't even realize would threads start tightening at the same time, and it's kind of ridiculous how smoothly it does it. We start with Jinshi acting off. He's thinking about Maomao more than usual, and with Jinshi that means staring dramatically into the distance like he just discovered feelings are a thing, which for him might actually be true. Meanwhile, Maomao gets new information about stolen ceremonial tools and a suspicious warehouse fire. Maomao starts connecting the dots. The missing tools, the fire, the earlier food poisoning incidents, the structure of the ceremonial platform, and this is where the show flexes its biggest strength. It respects the audience. It doesn't spoon feed you the answer. It lets you watch her think, and when she realizes that the upcoming ceremony might end in a very public, very fatal accident, the tone shifts instantly. No dramatic villain speech, no over-the-top music cue, just pure horror, and then she runs. This is what makes this episode hit so hard. Maomao is not a warrior. She's not a chosen one. She's not built for combat. She's a pharmacist with trauma and a hyperfixation on toxins. But the second she understands someone is about to die, she doesn't hesitate. She tears through the palace on pure panic and adrenaline, trying to reach this important someone before it's too late. When the guard steps in, she doesn't even hesitate. She tanks the hit, gets slammed down, and still forces herself back up. It's ugly, it's frantic, and then we get the reveal. The person standing beneath the unstable ceremonial structure is Jinshi. And here's where the writing gets kind of evil in the best way. Because technically, Maomao's motivation is logical. Prevent death, stop conspiracy, solve problem. But the second she sees it's him, there's this split second of something more. And she doesn't think, she just moves. She shoves him out of the way, tanks another fucking hit from the structure collapsing, and then she collapses right into his arms. Now here's why this scene works so well. It's not just about the physical sacrifice, it's about what it does to Jinshi. Up until now, Jinshi has been composed and untouchable, always 5 steps ahead socially. Even when he's teasing Maomao, he's in control. Not here. When she falls, that composure cracks, and for the first time you can see genuine panic. This isn't palace politics anymore. This isn't intrigue. It's personal, and the episode ends there. No immediate resolution, no comfort, just the image of Jinshi holding the one person who treats him like a regular human being and realizing he almost lost her. What makes episode 19 so good isn't just the assassination plot. It's how carefully everything was layered beforehand. The stolen tools weren't random. The earlier incidents weren't filler. Even the way the ceremony was explained episodes ago suddenly matters. The show doesn't spoon feed you like you're watching with Subway Surfers gameplay underneath. It reveals the plot to the viewer in a very organic way. For 19 episodes, we've watched Maomao solve problems for everyone else, and this time she becomes the cost. And honestly, this is the moment where you realize the show isn't just a clever mystery series with pretty historical aesthetics, and is rather a character study disguised as palace drama. It's about power, who has it, who doesn't, and who risks everything anyway. Episode 19 takes all the quiet intelligence the show has been building and weaponizes it emotionally. So if you weren't fully locked in before, you definitely are now. Honestly, it's a solid, well-made show, and I can definitely see why it receives so much hype. But for me, it just doesn't have that hook that makes me want to watch 5 episodes in a row. While the payoffs are some of the best in anime, there are long stretches where it feels like the bigger story isn't really moving forward. I find myself waiting for a major plot twist or a massive shift in stakes, but the show is very content to just live in the day-to-day life of the palace. It's definitely enjoyable to have on in the background, and I appreciate the logic Maomao uses to solve things, but I think I just prefer something with a faster pace or more immediate tension. It's a good show, it just feels like it was written for a different type of viewer than me. Be sure to let me know what you think of the Apothecary Diaries in the comments, and don't forget to like and sub to the channel. Thanks for watching, guys.